I'm talking about Jadon Sancho. Of course, Manchester United will play Manchester City. This game will be on Sunday, of course, that's 6:30 Eastern African time. And of course, we'll go through the whole story so that we can see who and why Jadon Sancho is likely to be exiled from Manchester United. And of course, Jadon Sancho is showing no sign of backing down in his dispute with manager Erik Ten Hag, prompting discussions at the Old Trafford of a January exit strategy, but there was no time when a resolution seemed possible into this situation. On Monday, that's September 11th, following the break abroad during the international window, Ten Hag took Sancho through videos of training to explain why he felt the player's output has been so insufficient during that time. The clips pertained to United's final session before their 3-1 defeat to the Arsenal on September 3rd, in which Sancho was asked to replicate the opposition style against the starting 11 and Ten Hag had selected. And as usual, under the Manchester United manager, those on the bench or not selected were all obliged to mimic what Ten Hag's team will be facing in a practicing game. Sancho knew he would not be featuring from the off at the Emirates Stadium, and in Ten Hag's eyes, he failed to commit to the drill as expected. The pair had words. There was an issue over Sancho's pressing, which Ten Hag attempted to clarify when the two met. Sancho disagreed with Ten Hag's view, a point he had already made in a more public setting. After the loss at the Arsenal, Erik Ten Hag had said of Sancho on his performance in training, "We didn't select him. You have to reach the level every day at Manchester United." And of course, Sancho snapped back at his manager that evening on social media, writing that any suggestions his training was not up to standard were completely untrue. And he claimed that he has been made a scapegoat for a long time. And such a direct response was viewed within United as Sancho calling Ten Hag a liar, and the only remedy for that will be deleting the post, which happened, and an apology, which did not happen. The details of how close Sancho came to saying sorry are disputed by both sides, but on Monday after the video session and in the 72 hours that followed, there were talks around exactly how the player could provide contribution. And of course, Erik Ten Hag wanted an apology on to his face, which the club will then communicate publicly as a mean of contextualizing Sancho's return to the squad. Sancho pushed back against his double acknowledgement of wrongdoing. His representative, including lawyers, were involved in the process, which ended in a deadlock. There was no request from United for Sancho to apologize to Ten Hag in front of the squad or to them. And of course, United then released a statement on September 14th saying Sancho will be training away from the first team for the foreseeable future, pending resolution of a squad discipline issue. Since then, Ten Hag's position has not softened, with Sancho also unwavering. So instead of training alongside the rest of the first team squad, Sancho has done his daily work either solo or with academy players. Mark Dempsey, head of coach of the under 21, has put Sancho through his paces at times, and Sancho is not allowed in the senior facilities, as has also parked his car near the academy building and got ready there before going out to adjacent pitches while changing in training gear. He has to lock himself inside the academy dressing room owing to safeguarding directives ensuring he does not in, inadvertently mix with any underage players. He is also prohibited from using the first team canteen. Instead, his food is brought to him in a lunchbox across the walkway, which is lined by a mural listing all the players who have graduated from the academy to senior football. To those academy players Sancho has mixed with during his exile, he has made a good impression. In the week, Ten Hag's team went to, of course, Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Sancho watched United's under 18 game against Nottingham Forest at Carrington. He stayed afterwards and answered questions from teenagers at the start of the professional careers. Those who have trained with him say he had been polite, which may seem like a minimal requirement, but it is not given when stars address their juniors. In other ways, Sancho has done his own thing. He flew to New York for a holiday after the Arsenal game after being photographed in a birthday party for basketball star John Wall. And during the October international break, he was at the Cercle United Club in London. Users of the EA Sport FC24, the football computer games, noted that his profile tag his action as kickoff approached for United's match with Bayern. And on another occasion, in the early hours of the morning, there are not actions to endear Eric Ten Hag. Indeed, those with an understanding of Sancho's mindset believe he is now resolute in his stance over the required apology. In his view, other players have been underwhelming in training and still played. There are also United staff members who believe Sancho could have been handled differently. He responds to warmer management and they feel private cajoling and encouragement may have kept him inside, although they accept they are not the ones in Ten Hag's position. People in the club hierarchy insist Ten Hag has tried everything to get Sancho firing, giving him a 3 month break from the club last season by organizing training away from United's player at the Dutch amateur side OGC Rosemalen. Sancho's timekeeping had been a recurring issue and his application level this season has now left this as the only option in Ten Hag's mind. Ten Hag has been Ten Hag trying him as a false nine in pre-season was a way of incorporating Sancho in a different position to the right wing. Former United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said Sancho preferred to play on the left, which Ten Hag has also sensed. That provokes questions about the diligence of the player tracked for 3 summers who joined United with 73 million, given that left wing is clearly Marcus Rashford's best role. Ten Hag preference for Anthony comes for the most part because the Brazilian follows instruction and wants to play there. A struggle to find his groove in the side perhaps reflects Sancho's general unhappiness at United. Although he would insist he will play anywhere, the manager and Sancho was aware of the reason he was dropped from the Arsenal game. Other players selected in the squad, such as Facundo Pellistri, Hannibal Mejibri, and Daniel Gore, had done what was asked in training. Ten Hag knew before arriving at the Emirates he will not sugarcoat the reason for Sancho's absence when asked by the media. Teammates were said to be surprised at Sancho's subsequent social media posts, given that they knew what happened in the training session. Those who know Ten Hag says he demands a lot from his players, believes that approach is necessary given United are supposed to be at the top of the industry. If players do not deliver, he will give them second chances and third chances. But at some point, he draws the line. Sancho, like Cristiano Ronaldo before him, reached the limit of Eric Ten Hag. Ten Hag believes that the ball is in Sancho's court. The player has to apologize personally and accept that United can publicize that apology and also work hard to get his place back. Otherwise, there will be no return. Ten Hag is determined to exert his authority on a club that has experienced problems over discipline. Relenting now would he feel diminished and respect he holds. Football director John Morton has tried to mediate, guiding Sancho towards an apology. Teammates have also encouraged Sancho to say sorry to get his career restarted. Some, however, believe Eric Ten Hag was harsh to criticize Sancho publicly. And of course, the Professional Football Association (PFA), the Players Union, has held a conversation with the club and has offered support for Jadon Sancho. This is still considered to be a live situation full of sensitivities. It seemed for a few fleeting seconds in United's press conference before the Champions League tie and Copenhagen that there may be a thawing in the standoff. When asked about players coming back from the sidelines, some thought Ten Hag reply to Sancho was in contention. Sky Sport made a social media post to the effect Ten Hag had in fact said Sergio, referring to Sergio Regulion, and was privately stunned. Anybody could think he would end the dispute in a nonchalant manner. Instead, the matter appears unresolved, which is why United are looking to the January transfer window for alternative solution. Saudi Arabia clubs were made aware of Sancho's availability before their summer market closed, but the player has his representative did not entertain any late move. United placed the 65 million asking price on a player who joined the club only on July 2021. A loan may now be viable too. The Saudi route is seen to be the most plausible, however, because European teams will struggle to match Sancho's wages, who wages of more than 200k per week will struggle to match. Of course, Borussia Dortmund's former club could not afford even half that salary. United made inquiries with other clubs, including Dortmund, in the summer, but nothing came into fruition. And it is understood that the Bundesliga team are not looking for a deal for him in January. For all his brilliant performances in Germany, oversleeping and timekeeping were issues. At times, there two Juventus have been linked with an approach, and some in the industry believe Sancho's connections to London, the city where he grew up, make Chelsea a possible option. Any move will need Sancho's agreement, and as Ten Hag has discovered, getting that can be easier said than done. So, guys, I think when you analyze through that article was courtesy of the Athletic, and of course, the Sancho situation is not looking so good for football fans and Manchester United, of course, community. And of course, we will be playing that game on Sunday with Manchester City. Of course, the team has not been performing well in the Premier League. Of course, we saw that in the Champions League there was a win. Of course, Harry Maguire thumping with that header, and of course, Andre Onana saving a penalty in the dying moments. We have seen a situation where the manager and Jadon Sancho not coming into solution, and I think Jadon Sancho is not going to play for Man United anytime soon until this issue they have is resolved. Yeah, of course. If you for the first time, kindly consider subscribing, and of course, I'll walk you through some of the serious games this weekend so that we can see what do we expect from the English Premier League. Of course, we ought to see the table and fixtures and what who is playing who this weekend so that we can run through and see. Today, Crystal Palace will, of course, welcome Tottenham Hotspurs today at 10. That's Eastern African time, and of course, Chelsea tomorrow will play Brentford. Then tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's Eastern African time. Arsenal will be playing Sheffield United, and then Bournemouth we play Burnley. That's at 5 p.m. And of course, Wolves. That's on Sunday. Wolves will. No, sorry. That's on Saturday. Wolves will play Newcastle United, and West Ham will play Everton. That is on Sunday. Yeah, that's on Sunday. And of course, Liverpool will play Nottingham Forest also on Sunday, and of course, Man United. This is the match. The match to watch. Man United will play Man City at the Old Trafford at 6:30. That's Eastern African time, of course. And then there will be also other fixtures, but my main concern today is the Manchester Derby. We'll see who will play to their best, and we see Spurs still leading with 23 points after just 9 matches. Spurs have lost no game. They have only drawn twice. They have a goal difference of 12 goals. Of course, closely followed. They are followed by Manchester City with 21 points, and of course the Arsenal there with 21 points on third. Fourth of the log is Liverpool with just 20 points, and of course Aston Villa with 19 points finish fifth. Man United are still on eighth, and onto the bottom three teams. Burnley are 18th with just a margin of 4 points, and then followed by Bournemouth and Sheffield in that order. Sheffield are at the bottom of the table with just 1 point. So let's look through, and of course, let's look through some of the statistics. Is that Erling Braut Haaland still leading with 9 goals, and of course Mohamed Salah following 7 goals. Sang Min of Spurs 7 goals, and of course Alexander Isak with 6 goals. Jarrod Bowen also with 6 goals. So those are the scorers, league leading from the top. And of course, in the let's move close to the assist player with the most assists. I think Kieran Trippier leads in that category. Kieran Trippier, of course, followed by which player is this? Followed by James Madison, Oli Watkins, and of course Mohamed Salah comes with 400. Vladimir Saufal, the player from Everton. Of course, there's a Wolves player who's in that bracket with Kieran Trippier. There's a player from Wolves here. That's Pedro Neto, of course. Pedro Neto with 6 assists, and of course. That is it for today. Of course, we'll see players with more bookings. We have Aaron Heike from Brentford, Anthony Gordon, 5, Emerson Paliermi, 5, Mario Lemina, 5, Nelson Semedo, Nicholas Jackson, and Yves Bissouma. Red card so far, we have seen players, the following players have one each. Each has one red card. Alexis McAllister, Anas Zaroui of Burnley, Ashley Young, Calvin Bassey, Connor Roberts, Diogo Jota, Joe Warren, Lyle Foster, Manuel Akanji, Mario Lemina Wolves, Moussa Niakate of Nottingham Forest, Nayef Agard of West Ham, Rodri of Manchester City, Takehiro Tomiyasu, and Tim Ream. Of course, that is the Premier League wrap this weekend. Be sure to keep on subscribing to this YouTube channel. I go by the name Escobento TV, and of course, be sure to be given a lot of good footballing contest. See you then. See you then, folks. I appreciate everybody who subscribe to this channel. Yeah, let's make football great again. Thank you for watching this show, but kindly, guys, remember to subscribe into this channel so that we could get ahead of good footballing contest. Otherwise, I leave it as that and enjoy your weekend.